G'day and welcome back to Down the Shed with Byron. And in this episode, I'm trying to sort out my GQ Patrol, why it's hard to start in this colder weather. Now, it can be a number of things, anything from as simple as your battery, fuel, or glow plugs, typically on one of these old TD42s. And that's kind of what I'm thinking. So when I start it up in the morning, I glow it, turn it off, glow it again, and then I try and start it. Coughs and splatters, but it runs. Once it warms up, it runs perfect. But one thing I have noticed is when I do glow it, the glow light only stays on for 3 or 4 seconds. But then I hear the relay click off after 15 seconds. And I'm thinking, is there something wrong with the actual controller or something along those lines? So we'll start it up now and I'll show you what's happening. And before we try and start it up, I'll just double check we've got nice firm lift pump pressure. So that diaphragm in there, that's nice and firm. So that diaphragm in there, can perish, and sometimes if it picks up some crap or something can jam underneath, there's a little like check valve inside of here. So if that's soft, you may have a fuel system leak or something along those lines, or the lift pump's failed. So obviously rectify that first. Then you just go down the path of sussing out if you've got a fuel leak, if one of your hoses is sucking fuel, if there's an internal leak in the fuel pump, etc, etc. But ours is all good. Now we'll try and start it up again and see how we go. I've been away for just over a week now and the Patrol hasn't moved, I haven't started it up. So we'll go in now, show you what I mean. So if we get ready and we'll count, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that went off. Temperature of the engine at the moment, 13 degrees. And if we try and start it now, battery's flat to start off with. So I'll go ahead, remove that battery, we'll throw it on charge and I'll give that a load test a little bit later just to see the condition of that battery. I've got a spare one, we'll throw that in. So it's always good practice to remove the earth terminal first off a battery and then the positive, just in case the old spanner goes too far when doing a positive. So we'll just disconnect that first. Now we'll do the positive. So now if you're undoing the positive and you accidentally earth it out, it's not going to arc out on you. New battery just mounted in there now. I'll just make sure these terminals are nice and clean. So we've got good contact surface between the terminal and the battery. Also making sure that the actual terminal is nice and clean as well. A bit of a brush in there. Now we've got nice clean surfaces. And then in reverse procedure, put the positive on first and then the negative on last. Well, it did start up a lot easier with that nice new battery in it. Did sound like a bit of a pig when it first idled, but otherwise it's cleared up, sounding mint now. I'll go ahead and I'll double check that glow plug circuit. The glow plug control unit is controlled by the coolant temperature sensor on the side of the thermostat housing, which I'll show you a bit later. And then that sends a signal to the relay. Then the relay sends power from the battery straight to the glow plugs. The first thing I've done, I've just bypassed all of that and just jumped straight to the glow plug harness, which is just on top here, which then goes down to the glow plugs. I've just put the test light in the end, put the earth to the battery, and we'll turn it on and just see if that lights up. All right, let's see if she lights up. 1, 2, 3. With a quick test like that, at least we know we've got power going down to that timing and control module. But if you don't, I'll show you where those fuses are in bits and pieces. So just inside the kick panel there, you've got your fuses, which I've taken that cover off just for now. And the fuse for it is meant to be 15 amp, but I've got a 20 in there for some reason. But looking at the actual stickers, that one is called engine control. Then next to the battery, you've got your main sort of fusible links here. The one that says glow blue is your other glow plug fusible link. So to test that, you pop that out, or if it's pretty obvious if it's blown, but you pull that out and you'd put a multimeter between there and there and just check for a link. So I've just got the multimeter set at ohms with the little beep, so it makes a circuit. Put that on each side, and that's yeah, it's telling you that that's all good. And just behind the battery here, there's a little cover which has got 2 screws that hold it in place. Pull that out of the way, and this is where you'll find the glow plug relay. So it's just where my finger is there. No one there. And just over on this side here where the thermostat housing is, there's a couple of other gauges just inside there, but I'll show you on my other Patrol. There we go, it's a bit clearer to see. So that first one there is for your gauge on your dash, and that one there is for the glow plug circuit. Now there's a little spring clip here that we just got to pop off, and that just comes up and then the plug comes out. So let's see if we can get this happening on camera. There we go. It's also known as a Jesus clip because it does go flying and you've got to try and find it. There you go. Pull that off. I'll show you what I'm talking about. So one of these in here is earthed, so you can check that with your multimeter, and the other one sends the signal to that box. So you can test this sensor by putting a multimeter at ohms and going across the 2 terminals and reading out what resistance you got. Now this resistance will be different depending on temperature. So today is cold and we got 3.6 there. So yeah, today's 15 degrees at the moment. So at 20 degrees, it should be about 2.5 k ohms, and at 40 degrees, it should be about 1.2. Now, I've started it up, but haven't started it. So we can actually have a look at the temp gauge. There we go, we've got engine temp at, hopefully you can see that, 18 degrees. So I'll just test mine now and see what reading I get. As long as we're around that 3-ish ohms, I reckon that'll be all right, because it is cold. Otherwise, next step would be check all those glow plugs. Got the Patrol in the shed now, ready to remove the intercooler assembly. You may have an air filter assembly there, but that's our next stage. I double checked in the book. Now that glow plug illumination stays on for 2 to 6 seconds and then it goes out, but the relay continues to power the glow plugs for 15 seconds, depending on engine temperature and that. So I got myself a little bit confused there, thinking it was only staying on for 3 or 4 seconds. With the intercooler removed, we can gain access to the glow plug circuit, which is the main power that comes in here, goes down to cylinder 1, and then it goes through a glow plug rail, which is your power wire basically, going down to each of the cylinders. What I'll start off by doing is we'll disconnect that little bit of wire there, which is just a flat blade that goes to each glow plug, and we'll have a look at that. This wouldn't have been helping the situation, so we've got a bit of corrosion on each of the terminals, so that wouldn't have been helping at all. So that's stage 1. We could pull that off, just give them a clean up and trial again. But we're this far now. We'll put a multimeter on each one of those and we'll see what the resistance is. Just finished testing all 6 of the glow plugs, and I've got anything from 1 ohm or less from cylinder 1 down to cylinder 4, and then from cylinder 5, 6, I've got maybe 1.2 ohms. So technically they're all testing okay. I'm going to pull them out and we'll do a test with a battery and see what we get that way, see how quick they glow up. But otherwise I think my glow plugs are okay. After doing that little test just then, found that they all pretty much glowed within that 6 to 7 second mark, and then at 15 seconds they were pretty much just halfway. But that cylinder 4 was heating up from the base of the glow plug and heading back the other way. Could that have been part of our problem as well? Don't know, but I done the new glow plug, and within it might have been 4 or 5 seconds, that was basically glowing red hot. So it's definitely worth throwing a set of glow plugs at this thing. I'll just go ahead and replace the 6 glow plugs anyway. I've just put a bit of Never-Seez on the thread. We'll put them in. Now, if you are chasing the torque spec for this, it's roughly 15 to 20 Newton meters. If you don't have a torque wrench, it's just firm. They don't hold the car together, so we'll do that now. With everything cleaned up and put back together, I've just put a bit of ElectroShield over the top of the terminals. Should I have put those plastic ones back on? I don't know. Well, basically, I've just put battery terminal protection on top of all those joins, so hopefully it prevents any of that corrosion again. I reckon we give it a crack, see if she starts up. All right, we'll glow it. 1, 2, 3. So the light stayed on for 3 seconds then. I'll wait for that relay to click off. Just then. Here we go. Oh, that sounds heaps better. Oh, that is such a relief. Starts up, idles nice and smooth now. I'm happy with that. We'll just shut that down now. I'm happy to have that sorted. Dirty thumbs up. There's a number of contributing factors there. The battery, the corrosion / bit of dirty terminals there. Then there was the glow plug, cylinder 4, that was only heating up in that midsection, not on the tip. I guess if I still had dramas from here on, I'd probably start looking at the injectors, just in case I've got a leaky injector. And then you'd go on to probably the fuel pump, etc. So hopefully my fault finding with me cold start helps you guys out, possibly. If there was any other tips and tricks that I may have missed, hey, let me know, because I'm only stuffing around trying to get the old girl running sweet again. I've got a few more jobs to knock off, but we can sort that out later. Thanks for watching. Dirty thumbs up. See you when I'm looking at you.